Kenya can be expensive and Kenya can also be very affordable. So for all of you who has been sending me message asking me about the cost of living in Kenya, how much you have to spend and all of that, this video is actually for you. Okay, today I'm going to be telling you about the cost of living in Kenya, like how much you're going to be spending if you're coming from Nigeria, you're coming from anywhere. Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. Naija Princess here. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for clicking when you saw this video, and in case you're seeing my face for the first time, thank you for watching. I am so excited to have you in the building. Okay, so do well to subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and please do hit the notification bell to be the first to get notified once I post any video. All right, today guys, let's just jump right into the video. So let me just start by telling you that Kenya can be expensive and Kenya can also be very affordable. Now this depends on where you are staying and how much you have in your pocket. So if you're a rich man or you're a very rich person, it can be, a little bit let us say it might be very affordable for you. So if you're coming from Europe, you're coming from America, you're coming even from Nigeria and you're a rich person, so calm down. It's actually affordable. Yes. Let me start from housing, which is where everybody's always very much concerned about. For housing, houses are not so expensive, but depending on what you want. So if you want an Airbnb, of course they have different, they have Airbnb, they have hotels, they also have houses which you can rent, which are also vacant houses that the unfurnished houses here. They also have unfurnished houses that you can actually rent and furnish to your own taste. Okay, so it depends on the area which you are staying. Now guys, I moved to Mombasa because I feel that Mombasa is a kind of affordable, and you also have all the things I needed. I wanted to have the beach life and all of that, so Mombasa offers me that particular experience. Then I needed like a community. I needed like a place where it looks like I'm staying in a community. Now, because I've lived in Lagos State, Nigeria, so I know how Nairobi is going to look like. And it was actually the same thing, seriously, because the rowdiness and all of that. So I needed somewhere kind of cool. So if you have stayed in Nigeria before, Kenya is, Mombasa is just like Port Harcourt. So it's a kind of friendly environment, homely. There's no much rowdiness. You get. So that's how you can differentiate between Nairobi and Mombasa. So I decided to move to Mombasa because it's kind of also affordable to live in. Okay, so I think those are some of the reasons why I chose Mombasa as my destination. This all depends on where you are staying. Even if it's Mombasa you decide to come, there are also very expensive places in Mombasa. Okay, now for a self-contained which I was staying, okay, at the time when I came in, okay, first of all I was staying an Airbnb, and the Airbnb was for I think 2k 2,000 Kenyan shillings or 2,500 Kenyan shillings thereabout. That's what I was paying when I came in. So 2,000 Kenyan shillings is 10,000 naira at the time when I came in. Okay, so that's what I was paying per night. Okay, and I stayed there for like 3 nights. Okay, then I got a house which I was paying 8,500 Kenyan shillings. Okay, and that's like about maybe 40 something K. Okay, so that's what I was paying for that house. It was somewhere around Motwapa in Mombasa. So that was what I was paying for that particular house, and it's unfurnished apartment. Okay, so it's per month, so you have to pay per month. You have to pay 1 month, then the next month you now have to pay extra 1 month for deposit. It's called security deposit or thereabout here. So whenever you are leaving, they have to deduct a particular amount. Like mine, they took about 2,500, maybe 2,000, something of that nature, to repaint the house. Okay, when I was leaving, so it's normal. They're going to take some money from the money that you paid in your extra 1 month to do 1 or 2 things. So that month is not that money does not cover your rent. It's just for security deposit. So every month, even if you have to stay there for the next 5 months, you keep paying your rent every month. That money has to be in their store. Okay, so that's it for the place where I was staying at that time. Okay, then later I moved to Bamburi where I paid 10,500 Kenyan shillings. That's about 55,000 naira. Okay, so every month I pay 55,000 naira. Yeah, and it's also an unfurnished apartment, so I had to buy everything in the house myself. Okay, so there are also one bedroom flats which you can get from 15,000. I think you can also get for 12,000. Yes, you can get for 12,000 Kenyan shillings, 15,000. There are also one bedroom flat for 20,000. Like 20,000, 25,000, you get like very big house. It might actually be furnished apartment too. Yeah, you can get an Airbnb for that rate, a furnished apartment. So you can calculate how much 20,000 is in dollars, and right now their current rate, and do your calculation by yourself. Okay, so that is how much you can spend on a self-contained or on a one bedroom. They're also self-contained that you can get for 12,000, for 15,000. Okay, they might not even be furnished, but because of where they are situated, okay, because of where the houses are, you don't expect the house to be just affordable like me that is staying in Bamburi. You can't expect that. Okay, so that is it. Now for the same amount, the same self-contained and one bedroom flat, you cannot expect to pay the same thing I'm paying in Mombasa. In Nairobi, which is like the capital of Kenya, you cannot expect to pay that same amount. It's just like you moving from Port Harcourt to Abuja and expecting to pay the same rent you are paying in Port Harcourt in Abuja. It's not possible. You know, it's not possible. It doesn't matter where you're staying anyway, but see, it's not possible. Just abort mission. So Nairobi is sort of expensive, more than even Mombasa. Okay, so that's it for rent. But you can always check online when you're coming into a country. The first thing you have to check is to check accommodations where you can stay. You can search for Airbnb, you know, apartments in airbnb.com, booking.com. You can check all of that out, and you'll be able to get if an affordable something, you know, within your range. Okay, and get it, you know, that you where you can stay when you come into the country. Then now take the time out, okay, to search for, let's say if you come into the country, maybe you booked for like 5 days. Okay, you cannot take one day off to rest, of course, rest and get to know around. Then the next day you start searching for a house. Although it wasn't like that in my own case, because I was able to meet someone that was able to offer help. Okay, and I owe her that gratitude tomorrow, because she actually helped me to sort out my accommodation very easy when I came into Kenya. Okay, so I think it's very important that you get an Airbnb, stay there for at least 5 days and search for a house. You can contact agents online, search for online. You can get house agent, but you have to be very careful. Okay, but of course, when you check on Facebook, you're going to be getting a lot of agents. Some of the agencies are also very much, you know, registered. You can check out some of them that you can trust, and you know, start from there. You can also ask questions from your Airbnb host. So my Airbnb host was the person that actually helped me when I came in. She got her tuk-tuk driver. We drove around the whole neighborhood searching for house, and in 2 days we were able to get something, and the third day I moved in. Okay, so it's very important that you know, get a place where you have to stay for a while before, you know, searching for a house. So just give yourself approximately 1 week. You've been able to get. Let's move over to food. Now for food, I would say that Kenya is very affordable for food. I don't know for any other person, but for me, I would say it's affordable. Seriously, because if I calculate how much I spent for food for Iron and Eliora, okay, it's not much. It's not much. The only thing that is eating our money, guys, is chicken and yogurt that is eating my money in this house. God help. Okay, you see, chicken and yogurt, those are the things that actually eat my money here. But they are not even expensive, but just that, of course, we buy it more often than any other thing. For tomatoes, pepper, all those things, that they're very affordable. The only thing that will cost you money is if you're buying your own things. So something that has to be sent from Nigeria, you know, of course, is going to be expensive. If you're buying like red oil, you know it's expensive. So I bought one, not even a liter, like, you know, that half liter of red oil here. I bought it for 500 Kenyan shillings. And 500 Kenyan shillings, you guys, you don't want to know how much it is. It's 2,500 naira. It's very, very pricey, yeah. So all those things are very, 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 very pricey when you come into, especially things that has to be imported. All those things are expensive, okay. But if you're looking for veggies, because Kenyans, they eat a lot of vegetables and all of those things are not expensive. Rice, posho, it's not expensive. All those things are actually not expensive. Chicken here is also not expensive. If you buy chicken for 2,500 Kenyan shillings, no, did I say 2,000? For 500 Kenyan shillings, sorry. So if you buy chicken for 500 Kenyan shillings, that's 2,500 naira. I can't say it's expensive because one full chicken in naira in Nigeria is about 6,000 or 7,000 naira. So I can't say it's expensive. So cost of living, especially in the area of food, is relatively very affordable in Kenya. Okay, and this all depends on how many family members that you have, how many mouths are you feeding per month. Very important to calculate all of that. For I and Eliora, just us, we don't eat much per se, because majorly I've told you the major things that eat our money. Okay, so that's it for us. Okay, for food is affordable. Let's move over to another thing I'm going to be talking about, is transportation. Okay, so for transportation, it depends. You can actually come in, if you have a lot of money, you can hire a car when you come into Kenya. Okay, you can decide to hire a car, rent a car. Yeah, people do actually rent a car in Kenya, so it's actually a developed country. Calm down. For like 2 months or 3 months, and you want to rent a car, fine, good. Even if you're staying more and you have all the money, you want to rent a car or maybe buy a car, it also depends on you. So, but for other means of transportation, which is the matatu, the tuk-tuk, and the borders, they're not also expensive. It all depends on where you are going to. Okay, I think the least I've been charged on either of them, all the transport is 50 shillings. Okay, 50 shillings. Yeah, I've been charged 50 shillings. Princess, are you even right? Yes, I'm right. Okay, I think it's either 50 shillings or 100 shillings. Guys, see, it's not expensive. Let me just not, it's not expensive. Transportation is not expensive, and it all depends on where you are going to. So Kenya has different means of transportation. You can use the land, which is just moving within. Maybe you're staying in Mombasa, or you're staying in Nairobi. You can move around. I don't think that tuk-tuk are not on the streets of Nairobi, but you can move around with matatus. I think there is border, yes. So you can move around with either of those on the street of Nairobi. Okay, but for Mombasa, you have access to both matatus, you have access to tuk-tuk, and you have access to border. Okay, and they're not even expensive. Okay, then they also have the train, which is the SGR. I think I got that right. You can take that to travel from Mombasa to Nairobi, from Nairobi to any other place. So the SGR is also very affordable, not expensive, and they have different class. Okay, so if you want to go to the first class, of course you're going into cruise, and you know that you're going to spend money, but also it's not even expensive. Okay, then the flight, you can actually fly from Mombasa to Nairobi. I think I had forgotten how much it is, but it's also not expensive, you guys. It's also not expensive. So if you have all of that money, you can actually live comfortably in Kenya without spending a lot of money. I don't know what else you want me to talk about. Is it for Wi-Fi? I think I've also mentioned Wi-Fi before in my previous video. Okay, for internet, you're also not going to be spending a lot of money, but it all depends on how many Mbps of Wi-Fi that you need at the time. Okay, so for me, I was using Zuku and I was using 10 Mbps, and I was paying 2,500 naira. Sorry, I was paying 2,500 Kenyan shillings. Okay, per month. Yeah. Then later I moved to another place, and Zuku is not in my area, okay, currently. And what we have to do was to get another Wi-Fi, which somebody directed me to. Then I started, I got the guy, and currently I pay 2,000 Kenyan shillings. So you see, it's actually not expensive. Yeah. So for any other thing, which other thing? Okay, for fun, anywhere. See, for fun you have to hold money, because some of the places you have to visit you have to pay for entrance, except for some of the free beaches, you know, they are not private beaches. Some of those places you don't have to pay money, but every other place you have to pay money for you to gain entrance. Some of the sightseeing places you might want to visit, you also have to pay money. Cost of all of them, they varies. Okay, you might pay 50, you might pay 150 here, you might pay 100 here, so you can also pay 200, 1000. It all depends on where. Okay, I'm just giving instances. Okay, and you know that because you're not also from East Africa, you're not from Kenya, you're going to be paying higher than the locals. So you should just put that at the back of your mind, that you're going to be spending money. Okay, so for fun I can't tell you how much you're going to be spending, but it depends on you. Like me, I try to minimize how much I spend for fun by going to, most times I go to free places that, in fact, it's the same fun, because you know what you might call fun is also not what I call fun. So it depends on what you call fun. Okay, so I will say that you decide when you come into Kenya for all of that. Okay, so guys, that's basically it. I think this is the major questions I've been getting. How much is the cost? How much is the cost? Then for school fees, let me just tell you, my daughter doesn't school in Kenya. Okay, so we do online schools. For the past 3 years, we have been doing homeschooling for Eliora, so she doesn't school here. So I can't say how much you're going to be spending for children's education, but you can search online for schools in Kenya, depending on where you are going to be staying. Then also ask them questions. Okay, a lot of schools here, beautiful schools, yeah, and they all have, you know, different price tag. Of course, you can always ask them questions. They have social media handles, they have websites, you can also check, ask your questions, and of course you're going to get feedback. Okay guys, I think I was able to help you and not confuse you that Kenya is actually affordable. Was it expensive? I think it all depends on what expensive means to you, and it also depends on what being affordable means to you. So for me, for my kind of life that I live, Kenya is kind of affordable for me. Okay, so I try as much as possible to cut my cloth according to the size of my material. So if it's 1 yard, I have to make sure that the 1 yard fit into what I want to use it to sew, by trying as much as possible to live in a place where I can afford and not where I cannot afford. Okay, so if you're coming to a new country, I think you should just take this, you know, take it from someone that's been living here for a while, that been living outside our country for a while, that it is very important that you try as much as possible to cut your cloth according to the size of the material. Don't put your hand where your hand does not reach. Like, it's very important. Don't try to you know, belong where you don't belong. I think that makes sense. Yeah, so guys, thank you so much for watching my video. I don't want this video to be so long, but it's already long. All right, let me just end the video here. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate. Please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, this is the best time for you to do so by hitting the subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up, and please tell your friends to come and watch my video and watch the art. So watch the art. Okay guys, thank you. Bye guys.